Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle. I'm here with another interview with a couple that I think you're going to love hearing from. Last year, Laura and I were invited to be a guest on a podcast called Real Love Ready, which is hosted by a woman named Robin Ducharme. In that interview, Robin let us know how excited she was to be in a relationship with her partner, Hector. I thought about her enthusiasm. I thought about what it was like for her to be an older person, same age as me roughly, with children, in a second relationship or who had already been married, and what it was like to hear about her excitement. And so I asked her, do you want to come and you and Hector tell us about what it's like to be in a relationship? And they did, and I'm delighted to hear from them. So I want to tell you about that and let you get excited to hear from them. First, I want to highlight and thank a couple of my heroes of the week. One of them is William. William became a new member of Patreon and is helping to keep the lights on here at Marriage Therapy Radio. Really do need your support if we are going to keep this thing going. So folks like William, I just want to say thank you. Thanks for coming in and for participating in some of the behind the scenes activities that we've got going on. There is a new project that I'm working on that I have been asked to ask you about, my listeners and my Patreon supporters. I'm going to do that first at Patreon. I may do it in general on the podcast, but keep your eyes open if you're a member over there to hear about the new project and see how you can help sort of crowdsource it to make it more successful. I also want to give a shout out and a thank you to Dan from Massachusetts. Dan wrote me the kindest note. I'm very happy to hear from you about your encouragement for me to keep doing the podcast. I'm glad that you liked the boat night episode. That was a fun one for me. Dan suggested that I have a co-host to help with the podcast. And good news, I've got two co-host stints coming up. One, after we do this first round of couples interviews, you're going to get to meet one of my oldest and dearest friends, Annie. Then we'll do a few more couple interviews, and I'll have another co-host, my friend Desiree, who is a colleague in the relational life therapy world. And I'm excited that you get to hear from both of them. We started recording already, and I just kind of geek out on being with smart people who make my life better, and I think you'll enjoy them both. For now, I want to bring you back to this interview with Robin and Hector. They're about 1 year into their relationship. They talk about the joys and challenges, again, of being in kind of a late stage dating world. Late stage meaning like they've already been married, they've already had kids. Robin says something about 30 minutes into the interview that I think is just mind-blowing. Just kind of changes my perspective on how I think some of you can show up in the world where you're trying to figure out how to meet another person and make that relationship work. So yeah, incidentally, you can hear, if you are intrigued by what you learned from Robin and from Hector, you can learn more about her at Real Love Ready. That's her podcast. We don't spend a lot of time talking about that. Instead, we just talk about what it's like for them to be them. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around.
Well, thank you for asking us.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
This was a stretch right, Hector?
A little bit.
But he's been stretching himself a lot, like since we met, and even before. So I think it was just great that he said yes. I was like, that's great.
Me too. And tell me about that. Like if that's a true thing for you, what does it even mean that you've been stretching yourself a lot? Is that do you resonate with that same description of yourself?
Yeah, quite. I've been saying yes to more new things in life and being more acceptant of life itself. So that's given me a much wider perspective of life as itself. So
what is on your list? Like, what are you saying yes to that you might not have said yes to before?
Entrepreneurship.
Besides being on a podcast with with your partner.
Yeah, no, it just I used to be much more introverted and kept to myself, and that's one thing, both in my personal life and just overall, even with my own kids and family.
Yeah.
And now I'm being more out in the open, and that has brought really good results in several aspects. So that's one thing. Work-wise, I was fine with the job line I had lined up, but I'm venturing more into doing more stuff out of that, just coming out of the shell itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just trying new things and getting great results as.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one of the coolest things about growing older is that you can, we have all these things that we don't even realize are ingrained into us. I think at the very simple level, it's like I've been drinking Diet Coke since I was 8 because my parents drank Diet Coke. Why would I drink anything else? I've just been in so that's a very, very simple thing, but grow older and go, oh, there's other stuff out there. Like there's root beer and ginger ale and, the evening kinds or provocative kinds of drinks that I could try. And it's just, all I have to do is lay down this old, not even bad definition of myself and say, I wonder what else is available. So, I didn't have the ability to do that when I was younger. So it's cool to, I think, get older and be like, whoa, I wonder what else I might try. I'm also an introvert, so I've been doing a lot of the same kinds of things, which is just, I'm going to try and get out of my house. It was a federal holiday on Monday here. My wife and I both had the day off, and normally we'd just sit around, but we were like, let's go downtown. So we just went downtown in our own city and walked around like tourists, and that was an unusual thing for us to do. So
good. You have to do that.
I don't know.
I love the fact that Hector says yes to a lot of things, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, I don't know if he's going to say yes to this one, but I'll ask. And then he says yes. I'm like, yes.
Right on.
I think that's great. Great idea.
So for the record, you guys are not married. I saw that you've been together about 11 months. How, tell me a little bit about how you did that. Like, how did you come together last year or a year ago? So wait, it's January now. So
we met
you
in March. Yeah, we met March 1st.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me just, I mean, you don't have to tell me your whole story, but how did you get here? How did you get here after wherever you got to March 1st? How did you get to March 1st? Maybe that's the better question.
We met online. We met on Hinge.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Hinge?
I chose Hinge because of Logan Ury.
Oh, right on.
And Logan, I worked with Logan, and I wanted a site, and she's been there. I think it was the chief of behavioral science, something like that.
Yeah.
And she talked a lot about just how, as an app, it had a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to go online and find my partner, then that'll be the site I chose. And I think for me, it was Hector's profile that really drew me in. Like he didn't have very much on it. But what he did say, like one of the,
he didn't have enough to turn you
prompts,
off. Like
right? There's
he knew when to stop.
Yeah. Mine was there was a lot more writing going on, but his was like, one of the questions was, what's one of the biggest risks you've ever taken in life?
Okay.
And he answered, like, moving my whole family, like, to a new country.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge thing. I was like, holy crap. And then, there's a voice prompt, and how do you start your day? And his was, I wake up, and you can hear his nice accent too, right? I wake up in the morning and I go to the pool and swim, and then I use the sauna, and like, it's a great way to start the day. It was just like, wow, I don't know anybody that wakes up and swims every morning. I just thought that was quite unique. And so I messaged him and said, like, where do you swim? I think that's an awesome way to start the day. And then his message back to me was where he swims. And then he asked me a question. He said, what are you grateful for today? I was like, oh my God. Like, and I said this to Hector, you had me at grateful. Like, I am, like, I live my life through gratitude. I really do. Like, I wake up and I say what I'm thankful for. I pray every night. I say what I'm thankful for. It's like, gratitude is such an important part of how I live my life. And I'm like, this guy is speaking my language. So.
Had you both, either of you had, like the opposite experience trying to date, like where you just had really nightmare situations and that, didn't pan out for one reason or another? Or did you have a pretty smooth journey to one another?
Well, after I parted ways with my ex-wife, I was on my own for a year and a half, close to 2 years, then a short with an old friend, a short relationship that didn't go anywhere, but a lot of teachings in between. And after that, I was lucky enough to just download Hinge again, because I had deleted that app. I wasn't looking for anyone, and then when I felt the time was ready, I was ready. and I downloaded, and who knew? Just a couple of months
Oh, like
after,
you downloaded on like Leap Day, and then like on February 29th, and then you woke up the next day, and here's
not
Robin.
so close by, but maybe a month before or so. So that was a happy coincidence, and
I see. This is an area that I don't know anything about because I graduated from college in May of 1995. I met Rebecca in November of 1995. We started dating in January of 1996. We got engaged in February of 1997, or sorry, January of 1997, and we were married by August. So I'd never dated. I dated around, I did the college dating, the thing that you do, but I have no idea how to go on apps or how to go out and try and meet people. I don't know I hear horror stories about it. And of course, these days it's like the way to go. When I first started my career and you ask people, how did they meet? And they said online, that meant that they met like just like looking for sex. I mean, it was just like, it was a shameful thing. It wasn't a legitimate way to try and meet people. It was the clandestine shadow way. And now, of course, it's ubiquitous. But I always wonder how people end up on this or that app. Hinge is the one that is like sort of purports to connect you in a generalized social group. Is that right? Like your friends of your friends are on Hinge, or is it broader?
I don't know which app that is, Zach, but no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. See, I don't know.
There are so many apps, and I don't know if one is better than the other. I think it's how you present yourself and how like how curious you are, asking the right questions of people. You know, like it's how much effort you put into it, I think.
Yeah.
You know, so you can meet quality people.
I see Hinge as an app for younger adults, but not college or looking for just a hookup.
Oh, the
Right.
demographic is a little different.
More serious kind of stuff.
Okay. So you had Robin at Grateful. When did Robin have you? Like, where did you know that she was the person that you wanted to continue this conversation with?
I came out really strong. Like I was at a point in my life where I wanted to be me, my true self. So I probably on our third date, I told her my weak spots, what I was struggling with for the last few years, and it was, for me, it was a huge step, and it was like, I like her physically. She's nice. She's a good conversationalist. That's sorry.
Yeah.
Have to double check at times. And okay, we're past that physical attraction and whatnot, and she doesn't seem like a serial killer or something. So
Yeah.
I'm on the safe side. Okay, so this is me, and I, I was like, okay, it's all or nothing at this point. So if she is scared by something or pulled away, then that's fine. We weren't meant to be together, but it was. I think it was quite the opposite. All that honesty out front from third date was, for me, just that gave me a more confidence in just staying open like that and being vulnerable, and just, yeah, that's what got me. All that feedback I got from her was reassuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, part of what you did was you were very clear about who you were, what you knew just sort of internally. And then you said, I'm not going to waste a lot of time here. On date 3, I'm going to make sure she's clear about who I am, or clear about what I understand. Understanding that if she's like, no thanks, that was okay with you because you didn't want to play a game that, where you kept her around for date 5, 6, 7, but it wasn't really you.
Or just deceiving and fooling her. Yeah. No, I'm done.
No, I'm into it. I have a lot of regard for that because I feel like if I were to get in the dating scene somehow, that's kind of how I would play it. I would be like, look, here's the deal. Here's who I am. Here's what I got going on. Here's what you can expect, and I would want to know kind of as fast as possible if people could handle that. Not simply just whether they agreed with what I was saying, but could they handle getting a little bit of a fire hose situation, like here it is. And so, Robin, what was that like for you? I mean, I have a suspicion that
I
you were
actually
like, "Oh my God, this is amazing."
I actually thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because the way he even just posed it was like, there's something that I wanna tell you about myself, and, like, this is hard for me to do, but this is, like, where I'm at and where like, what I've experienced, and it's been and actually and then he also said, like, "I've learned so much, and I've grown so much because of all these experiences I've had,"
Hmm.
and it's like and I was like, "Wow, thank you," like, I was honored that he shared that with me, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth. It was coming from such a vulnerable, beautiful, honest place,
Yeah.
and I mean and then, of course, because you're sharing that vulnerability with each other, that was an invitation for me to be like, "Okay, I can be that too with him."
Hmm.
And early on in our relationship, like, I was like, he's so intuitive, and
Hmm.
like, it's like our connection has been so strong from the beginning. It's like he knows me and can feel my energy,
Hmm.
and I was, I was out of, like, an unsafe relationship, very
Hmm.
unsafe
Uh-huh.
with my ex,
Uh-huh.
and it was still affecting me, and I was, like, anxious. I didn't realize I was so anxious that I was when we
Huh.
first met, and he would say, like remember, I would be like, "Why am I" like
Mhm.
but I because he's so grounded and so level that my energy wasn't, like, it
Mhm.
was still, like, my safety was at risk before. So it's like, how do
Mhm.
you and I mean, I really didn't know Hector in the beginning. You don't know somebody, you have to
Yeah.
learn to trust. And it's like more and more time we spent together, it was like, okay, my anxiousness actually was like more clear to me. Isn't that funny, right?
Yeah.
Because you're with somebody that's more that wasn't that.
Yeah. 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 It's like when you okay, let me see if I can wrap my head around this. It's like when you have the experience of something healthy, you realize how the other thing or the alternative made you feel bad, which you didn't maybe realize when you were just like, you know, gorging on the bad thing. I have like a little like a food thing in my head somewhere. Like if you're just like sugar, 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 and it feels great all the time. It's not until you start to eat healthy where you're like, oh, sugar's kind of gross or there's a little too much or whatever.
I
But
think for me, it was more like I didn't realize that I was actually living day to day with like low grade anxiety. Like
mm,
really. And I think there's actually a lot of people that don't realize it, but I
hmm.
didn't. I mean, I just didn't realize it, and then until we started spending lots of time together, and I was like, "Wow, like, I need to like, my nervous system can calm down, like,
Mm.
this person is safe," and it took a while, but, like, I feel great now, and you noticed a difference in me.
Yeah, quite.
Can you talk about that a little bit? My nervous system, like I you have a relationship with your nervous system. It's clear. Like you've kind of figured out you like know, oh, this is my nervous system. It's not me, it's not just whatever, but it can calm down. Like how have you made sense of that or how have you learned what have you learned about your own relationship to your nervous system, say in the last year?
For me, it's like I can get caught with my low grade anxiety, I was getting caught in rumination, so my
Mhm.
mind wasn't able to shut off, like, and that's
Mhm.
unfortunate. That's the way I was living,
And do
and
you think
all
that you carried that like when you think about that, do you think that you carried that in from your past relationships? Is that something that you learned as a child? Is that something like how do you
very possibly. Yeah, when
Hmm.
my safety wasn't when it's a great reflection because I think, like, when I was little, like, my parents had there was a lot of they had a very tumultuous relationship. My dad was constantly moving in and out of the house and,
Mm.
we didn't know where we were gonna live, like, "Oh, we're moving again," like and so as a little girl, I remember feeling unsafe a lot, to tell you the truth, a lot.
Mhm. Mm.
And I think maybe it's like your mind just right? And then I'm praying, like, 'cause I was raised quite religious, and so I'm, like, praying, "Okay, God, just, like, clear my head or just clear my heart, like,
Mhm.
help me be safe," right? So, like, maybe that's where it came from, just shutting my and now I can actually be more that's the other thing that Hector's so good at is being so present. He's
Mm.
very in the present,
Mhm.
and I think also with my anxiety, it was like I was too future focused or too past, I wasn't in the present.
Mhm.
So, he's been a great teacher for me.
They say, what is it? Depression is worrying about the past and anxiety is worrying about the future or something. It's some
Mm.
weird thing about
Yeah,
that.
that's actually a good point.
And worrying is praying for something bad to happen,
Hmm.
It's true.
you know.
I was worrying a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Um you both have referenced that you have come out of previous marriages. So you, Hector, married once and you have your own children?
Yeah.
How old are your children?
14 and 11.
Okay.
And married together for 18 years.
Okay. And Robin, what about you?
I was with my first husband for 15 years.
Okay.
And my second for 5. Like not married for 5, but together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one is the one that you sort of was unsafe, or that you're considering
absolutely
unsafe.
Yeah, that was a disaster, unfortunately. But I do have a son because of my marriage. So I mean, that's my most prized blessing from God.
Yeah. So how many children do you have?
I've got 3.
3. And they're how old?
I've got an 18-year-old, 15, 15. And 3.5.
That's awesome.
I always forget my middle daughter's age. I don't know, but
yeah, I'm sure she appreciates that.
Thanks, Mom.
I suspect that you're not going to have a terribly sexy answer to this question, but I have said a million times that, well, actually, I'll back off that for a second. Your kids, do they know each other? Are they friendly? Are they all in a relationship, or do we know not yet?
Our kids do not know each other yet.
Okay.
No.
So you're not in any like the step parenting version of trying to be in a relationship at all?
No.
Yeah.
That's not like we haven't talked about this.
No.
That's not where I'm just like, I love Hector's children. I really do. And
you've met them.
Yes. And I just want, like, I just want to be like an extra person in their life that gives them love and support and whatever I can provide, but it's not, there's not going to, no, they've got great parents that's not my role.
Are you your dad's girlfriend?
Am I dad's girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And Hector, your mom's boyfriend? Like, is that how?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Why haven't they met each other? Is that a deliberate choice? Do you live far away from each other? Or did you just decided that that's not really a thing at the moment, or?
Oh, well, just hasn't happened as such. There was a Christmas dinner here at Robin's, and her oldest daughter was here, but she was with their friends, and there was a lot of people. So I don't know if they connected. I don't think.
I don't think they did, because my 18-year-old is now in university in like 3 provinces over.
Yeah.
And Sadie, I know she wants to meet your kids. It's just a matter of, like, I have to say, this has a lot to do with my experience with my ex. I know, because it was not good for them. It wasn't good for me, and it wasn't good for them.
Yeah.
And so they are definitely on guard, and more just like, okay, Mom, we're gonna see if this is, because like I talk about Hector all the time, and I'm this, they know how much I love him, but it's like they're just, they're gonna take their time on it, know. And Sadie does trust that, she does, but then she's a little bit afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid for themselves and for me. I can see it, Yeah.
Man, it's complicated. The question I was going to ask, and I'm glad I didn't, because it's kind of irrelevant, is around this sort of step family blending situation, because I can tell you that in my private practice, it's the hardest thing I do. Like, it is without question the most challenging thing to, have a family that you create, and then that family, for whatever reason, shifts, and then you meet new people and you create a third thing, a Brady Bunch situation of some sort, or whatever that is. And you have this blended family where the loyalties get tested and changed, and all of these, like, you're not quite sure who's in charge of what. And it's really, really tough to navigate. So it sounds like you're being really patient with that. And that's pretty cool, because it can get so strange and messy.
Yeah, no, as Robin said, it's like a day-to-day kind of thing. No rush, no nothing. And the feedback I get from my daughter, especially, my son, is like, "Oh, you're good at that's fine."
Yeah.
But my daughter has expressed to me that I see you happy. I see, like, I can tell the difference since you met Robin, and how you're just going through life now. I see you happy, and she's happy to see me that way.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, just a matter of time and patience, whatever. Well, it'll come.
It will come. And I think that is that is my constant reminder, and my growth that I'm like gaining with Hector is being patient and just it's just like, what is the rush? Like, we are together, and it's so strong. It's like, this isn't going anywhere. So it's like, there's no pressure. There doesn't have to be, you know?
Yeah.
It'll be a natural progression. It is a natural
It has
progression.
been, yeah.
So I have a intake question on my counseling practice, and I put it in the questionnaire I sent to you guys, which is on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your relationship? And people coming into my practice, they're like 4, 3,
Right.
6. You guys are like 10. So how do you do that? Like, how do you,
We were both like 10. Actually, Zach, the funny thing is I was like, there's no 11 or 12 on this scale. What the heck?
but how do you make sense of that? Like, it's, nobody's at a 10. How do you justify, or how do you, justify is the wrong word, but how do you like make sense of that for yourselves?
It's the first time in a committed relationship that I feel my true self, and I felt whole before going into the relationship. So I think that mix of factors, and also I don't want to. I mean, I just feel more aware of who I am and how I want to live my life, and being with Robin brings peace to my life and brings love and caring. So it just it doesn't feel like a struggle or any. It hasn't been at all. So it keeps improving and improving, and as I go through growing through life, and in this past year or so, I see myself more at peace, more calm, feeling more love, feeling more that. So that for me, it's a 10 all the way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think, Robin?
I think that we talked about this on like our second date. I was, you know, going into my dating thinking like this is Robin, you've got all the skills, you're ready, and you're such like I've got so much love to give. I really do. And I was like, I'm ready for this person in my life that is going to receive that and give me just as much back. And I want to create that relationship that I've always wanted. Like that I'm going to grow in, that I'm going to feel safe in, that it's just going to give so much joy. And it's like, I can do this, like, and I went into my dating with like, exactly what like Hector said. It's like, I have so much to offer rather than, oh, I hope he likes me. That approach, it's like, I'm not
Oh,
coming from
man.
lack, I'm coming from abundance.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if he doesn't like me, well, then he's not for me. Like, forget it. Like,
Yeah.
I just have to be my 100% self and coming from a place of like, I have so much to give and offer. And we talked about
I
it.
can feel that. Like, I can feel
Yeah.
that in my chest. Like that's true for you, but that is like so vital to any expectation that you would be healthy in a relationship, that I am here to be generous, not say greedy, right? Like, I hope I get is really
No.
different than I got a lot to give and I'm going to make sure to do that. And if he doesn't want it, that's his loss.
And something that we did talk about is that on our second date, right, was like we both wanted like a beautiful, beautiful relationship. And that's not just, this doesn't fall on your lap. Like, we're very
Yeah.
intentional with how we treat each other, how we speak to like, we're very intentional. Like, we've talked about how, like, there's been text messages that I want to send, right? And and I'm like, no, Robin, like, that's
Ah.
not coming from a loving place. Like, and I can't give you an example. It's not like, or maybe that was fear talking, or
Yeah.
even like, right? And then you just take
Yeah.
a couple steps back. Is that me? Is this my trigger? Or
Yeah.
is this something that's going on with Hector and I? And
Yeah.
actually, especially in the first 2-3 months, like all your stuff comes up, like all your anxieties, like, you know what I mean? Your attachment stuff. And it's going to continue. I'm sure it's like, this is a lifetime of growth and learning, but it's like, I'm being way more, aware and retrospective in my own self before like communicating anything. Let's say there was a concern. It's like, okay, is this my stuff or is this stuff that I really need to work out with Hector? That's a big piece, like, that can be differentiated.
It's
Yeah.
pretty massive. Like, I like, this will be the money clip, is it's the idea that part of where your 10 comes from is real clarity about who you are and a real stewardship of your own emotional and mental health, to bring to the relationship. And it is. It's a practice. I mean, I think you're talking about things that I am working on all the time, but you make them seem sort of effortless, and I really appreciate that. But it's not just in a new relationship. I the other night I poured a bowl of cereal that I was so excited about because I had splurged on this like cereal I used to eat as a kid. And then like the second the milk hit the bowl, my wife was like, "Can you help me make the bed?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like why can't, and I did all of the things where I was like, "Why didn't you do it sooner? And why do you need my help? And this is a da da da." And I knew that that wasn't going to get me what I wanted, you know? So, which was to not fight with my wife basically. So I was like, "No problem." It took me a minute. It sounds like it's a little bit more ingrained into your style with one another, which I love, but 100% you got to like quiet those voices that want to lash out or be anxious or be, assign value to you based on a previous partner or previous experience. So I love that for you guys. Do you think that you have a philosophy of relationship? And I think we all do, but the question is like, where does it come from? Like, if you had a philosophy of how relationships work, do you know what it is and where it came from?
My philosophy. I grew up with a family of
Yeah.
like people that have really good relationship. Like I'm not talking
Yeah.
about marriage, like my parents' marriage, but I'm talking about the
Yeah.
fact that relationships in my family on both sides, my mom and my dad's side, are very important.
Mhm.
And they're close relationships. Like
Mhm.
a lot of people, a lot of love, like
Mhm.
just generous, joy, like community, phone calls, hugs, kiss, like the relationship. I was shown a lot of like just how important relationships are in life. Like
Mhm.
my dad with all of his employees, his customers, he was known as being such a good person because of those relationships.
Do you think that you said you grew up quite religious. Do you think that was a function of their faith or was it a function of
No,
their
I don't think
skill?
so because it was like I say I was raised religious, but we went to church, Catholic church. It wasn't like we're all
Yeah.
like, no, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was more like my dad was raised to be just like my papa was in a band, so they were the wedding band, like on the
Yeah.
farm, and so they were always at the weddings, and they were people always around, like so many people and so much. I don't know. It was just like a value that I was taught and shown,
Yeah.
and that I've lived. Right, how important
Yeah.
relationships are in our lives.
Yeah. I ask this question a lot too. Like, do you have a philosophy of relationship? Because I think we do, and it comes from somewhere, right? It comes from the Bible, or it comes from John Gottman, or it comes from our parents, or it comes from our first marriages or something. And I think when that's unexamined, when we don't quite know, like, why do I think what I think, really about anything? I mean, then you're at a disadvantage. But I wondered if had a philosophy that you've cultivated. And in particular, do you have one now that you're on the back end of a couple of unsuccessful long-term commitments? Like I don't want to say broken marriages or something, but like did your failure in quotes shape your philosophy? It sounds like there's probably a little bit of that in there somewhere. I'm wondering what that might be.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I feel that a lot of my struggle in the last 6 7 years, and not just with my past relationship, but with my own existence in a
Mm,
way, was not being brave enough to be honest and open about wants, needs,
mm,
or desires or
mhm,
such. So that that translated into my relationship, not just with Robin, but with my kids, my mom, and ex partner, and everyone around me. I'm just open, open and honest.
mm,
But I try to choose the right words to
mm,
be honest, not
mm,
being hurtful or just no. I can tell you the same idea or my thoughts or my needs or my
mhm,
wants, but in a way that you don't feel as a threat or like I'm attacking you. And
mhm,
I've found that that works charms just with my
mhm,
my kids, with Robin, with my ex partner, with my mom, my sister. It has been. I try to be really careful with my words. Take 2 breaths before I speak,
two.
5 before I text, proofread, and
Oh
then
wow.
there's no rush on sending that text or answering back.
Is that real? I mean, is that real? Do you take 2 breaths before you speak and 5 breaths before you text? Is that a thing that you like actually do, particularly?
I when like just it has nothing to do, but it's a relationship with
Yeah.
my landlord.
Yeah.
You know, I
Oh, got
run
it.
into things with him, and he's always like he doesn't want to spend a nickel.
Yeah.
So I could answer him right away, but I'm
Yeah.
being patient. I'm okay. No, that would create conflict, or that might be understood in a different way. No, let's not go there,
Yeah.
and just back and proofread,
That's
and
so good.
okay, and then
Oh,
yeah.
this guy.
No, I'm no. It's not easy.
Yeah.
No.
It's I've worked more in it, and
Yeah.
it's coming more naturally. And
Why did you do that work?
because as I said, I was afraid of having tough conversations.
Mhm.
So I would first lie to myself in order to comply,
Mhm.
or make someone else happy, or avoid conflict,
Yeah.
and that led me nowhere. So
Yeah.
it just that became my way of being true to myself
Yeah.
first, and then speaking my mind, but in a loving, caring way, if possible. There has been times that there's no room for that, so you just have to be honest, and if that causes hurt to someone else, then so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked another question on the questionnaire, and it was like, "What's your thing?" And you guys said honesty. Honesty is our thing. And I was like, "Oh, brother." Um, do you think there's such a thing as too much honesty, or how do you navigate through some of the hard places that requires honesty? How do you have experience with that yet? I can't tell if you guys have you had your fight? Do you have your first fight yet?
You know, this is the other thing that I think is so different about our relationship. We have hard conversations.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, what makes the conversation hard? That's what I want to know.
well, you're feeling like, okay, this is something that's like weighing really, really, really heavy on my heart,
Uh-huh.
or I'm like upset about something, and I'm like, we have to talk about it. We have to figure this out
Mhm.
because I don't want to feel like this anymore. Like I
Mm.
want to feel good, and
Mhm.
get back to where I'm feeling like we're on the same page. So that to me is, yeah.
Yeah. When does that happen though?
Like I think, like, honey, do you want to talk about this? You talk
I'm
about
like
it.
trying to provoke you guys
I'm
to
trying
trying to pick a
we
fight, and you're like
definitely like
unwilling to do it.
I would just not say that we have not had a fight, like
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
There
No.
has been a couple of times where we have set boundaries.
Okay.
So whenever a particular situation came along, it was okay. I need to talk about this
Yeah.
right after, and
Yeah.
even we weren't supposed to see each other that day, but no, I need to talk about this, and
Mm.
let's meet. Okay, where are you at? Where I'm at? What did you mean by this? And
Mm.
Mm.
we have talked about this quite a bit about since English is not my first language,
Uh-huh.
I have to sometimes ask
Mm.
or explain myself further,
Mhm.
or Robin has to help me navigate through the language, and
Mhm.
that actually brings a pause
Mm.
in conversations or in ideas, and that okay, no, I'm trying to say, and then you elaborate in the meaning of an expression of a word, and
Mhm.
then that brings a more broad perspective of the idea I'm trying to, or she's trying to bring in. And I think that pause and that understanding of what's your what's the true meaning of what you're saying, instead
Mm.
of just being triggered by the word, and feel it the attack and then react, and we haven't got through that.
I can think of times when I was getting frustrated around, for instance, like um time. Okay, I can't think of exactly the example right now, but I would call, like, I've got really good friends, right?
Mhm.
And so I would
Mhm.
call one of my best friends and say, "This is where I'm at right now. I'm feeling frustrated, like." And, you're voicing your concern with your friend and getting feedback, right? Which I think is great, because it's like, why would I go to Hector right away? It's like The Village, right? Like Esther Perel talks a lot about this. It's like your partner doesn't have to be everything to you, and it's not healthy for you to rely on that person for everything. So if I'm frustrated about something and it's maybe my thing, my best friend that's known me for 35 years could be like reflecting back, like,
that's you.
Yeah. You don't need to talk to Hector about that. Like, just figure it out, and I'm going to be your sounding board, and we're good to go. Like, sometimes that is the case. But if it is something that I feel like I need to talk to him about, it's like I can go in. We talked about this yesterday. I feel like we give each other the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And it's like, be curious, ask questions. Like, I want to know where he's coming from before I'm jumping in. Like, this is where I'm coming from. Right? Like being... there's something about the way we communicate that we're able to give each other that grace, right?
Yeah.
So far.
That's so cool. My kids came home from kindergarten. They're 18 and 22 now, but I remember when they were young, and the school they were in was really high on emphasizing, is it true, is it kind, is it necessary? Like, you don't have to open your mouth unless it's true, kind, and necessary kind of thing. And it was like their filter. And the hardest one, I think, for me, but this is where I noticed that you are doing some good work, is around necessary. Like something stirs up in me and I'm like, I gotta do something about this right now. But it sounds like you guys have enough of a filter, or friendships, or, just ability to reflect, to go, maybe it's not necessary for me to say that thing. I don't have to say every single challenge that comes into my life or my chest. I don't need to let that out. But again, kind of filtering what's necessary. It seems like you have a pretty good read on all three of those, actually. Truth, honesty. You're both very kind to each other, which is really cool to watch. And then kind of choosing, this I do need to talk about. This I don't need to talk about. That goes a long way.
I remember that one time when like Hector is really good about taking time for himself. Like it's important for him.
As a good introvert should be able to do.
Yes, it's important to me too. I think I'm more of an, I discovered this about myself. I think I might be an introvert, because I loved having time by myself.
Okay.
It recharges me.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's actually the definition, right? Like introversion, extroversion is about energy. Am I energized by being alone, or am I energized by being with other people?
But I was going to tell the story about how he he turned his phone off for a long time.
Okay.
And we do the evening text right before bed. And I was texting him like an hour before bed, just like, hi, sweetie, how are you? Like, hope your night's going great.
Yeah.
And nothing, right? And then, okay, that's an hour goes by. Okay, no problem. I'm washing my face, brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed, and nothing, right? I'm thinking, I hope everything's okay. Anyways, bottom line is time went on, and I wasn't hearing back from him. And now I'm actually getting legitimately worried, because like this is not normal, not characteristic behavior. Like, right? And so it'd been about 3 hours, right, Penny? I called one of my really good friends that lives close to Hector, and I was like, can you please do me a favor? Like, I'm just concerned. This is not like, can you just do a drive-by and make sure his truck's there? Like, that he's safe? And thank you. So she's driving, we're talking on the phone, and she's like, yeah, his truck's there. I'm like, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. Good night, right? Okay, so I like shut my light off when like was gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
And then he texted, like, I think right before I like turned my phone off, said, I'm fine, it's all good. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, love you. Good night. Like, it wasn't, I was just really worried, right? He was kind of expecting me to get angry about that, but it wasn't.
Well, sure.
I wasn't angry. I was just concerned.
Well, that's what I noticed when you were telling your story, is that like you went through your options, and the first one was, I hope everything's okay, not I wonder if he's mad at me.
Right.
And because that first thought directs the rest of the next series of thoughts that will follow, right? The first thing that, and maybe you did entertain for a second, I wonder if he's mad at me, and then put that down because you had trust in the relationship and said, no, I hope everything's okay, But again, I think directing traffic is a big part of it. And it's really just kind of how you let things go through that first gate. Is it through objectivity and concern, or is it through something that feels subjective, like about me, and fear would be the alternative, I suppose. What's next for you guys? What are you thinking about? I mean, you're not living together, I understand, because you had to drive by the truck. So how often are you connected? Do you see each other daily, weekly? Do you have a rhythm?
Yeah, a couple times every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we try to hike Because we're week on, week off with the kids, and normally we don't see each other when we have the kids. But then at times, maybe early Sunday with the kids, we'll go for a hike and then spend some time together.
Yeah.
Text every day.
You got a 1-year anniversary coming up.
Yeah, we do weekend excursions like every once in a while, and that's really fun. So we're gonna go to a concert in March.
Yeah.
We've got some plans for summer to be together with our kids.
Yeah. Okay.
And just like, it's not like we're talking years ahead, because like, what's the point? Like, I feel like we're gonna be together for like a very long time.
Yeah.
But it's like, we don't need to be planning like so like, but we do make plans like to spend it's important to us. Like we spend time together as much as we can, really. Yeah. Balancing everything else going on. Yeah. So it's all moving in the right direction. All moving like, positive and just good.
Yeah. Holding it with an open hand and well, that's really cool. I'm so glad to talk to you. I know for a fact that I have key takeaways for me that feel really affirming, and I'm like grateful to both of you for giving me just the opportunity to ask a couple questions. And Hector, I think you did a great job as an introvert in your first podcast interview to show up and like you knocked it out of the park. So congratulations.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Hector.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
This has been a delight. I'm so glad that you agreed to talk to me, and I'm really happy to learn from you both.
Thank you for having us.
So I want to say thank you again to Robin and to Hector for coming on and for sharing with me their journey a little bit. I loved hearing from them. I think we are going to be friends. I'm actually going to be visiting with Robin in about a month up at an event that she is hosting through Real Love Ready. And I'll be excited to learn from the folks that they have there and hopefully recruit a couple more podcast guests that we can let you learn from. For now, however, I will thank you for the time and attention that you're putting into your relationship, making it better today than it was yesterday.